I'm here with Forbidden, so thank you guys for taking the time.
No problem.
So I'll go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll get started.
Okay. Mark Hernandez, drums. Steve Smythe, guitars.
Craig Cicero, lead guitars.
He's like, yes, I get a second take.
Okay.
Saw that one.
I'm Russ Anderson, you know what I do.
Nice.
Matt Camacho on bass.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, first of all, for taking the time, too. I really appreciate it. What has been a memorable moment on this tour for you guys so far?
I think that some of the most memorable things that come to my mind are some of Bobby's stories. Bobby Blitz is, I can't repeat it, one of them.
But
they're
got one.
one of his repeatables?
Well, the little...
Oh,
break that
yeah,
happened to
you
me the
go.
other night on the bus. I was sitting up here basically just having some water. Little late night snack, whatnot, you know. The show's done, everything's done like that, and all of a sudden the guitar player Dave from Overkill comes over, knocks on the door. He's all, "Hey man, I'm here to get Bobby and Ronnie, the drummer. They're on your bus. They're getting some beers, and they said that they need to get off. They're locked in." I said, "What? What are you talking about?" And I didn't realize it, but he's got like a phone camera on me, and you know, I'm trying to figure out what the hell are you doing, man. It's like, why not, you know? And I'm all, "They're not on here, man." I look back, I don't see anybody there. And then I look back again, he's like, no, they're here. I look back again, and here they come. They're like right at my face. They're all, "Thanks for the beer, dude." And they take off. And I'm like, what just happened?
They snuck in through the back window.
Yeah.
I left the back window
yeah.
open. Teach me a lesson there.
And let me just say that if anyone would have done that, besides Russ would have given them hell.
What the hell?
Oh, you know, we can lose everything. Now, that's pretty memorable, right? I mean, that qualifies.
That does.
Yeah, it's a good memory.
That is a good
It's going to stick with me for a while.
Yeah, besides just hanging with all those guys, I just am really blown away by all that nostalgic feelings I'm getting from all these people here that really know our old stuff. Like there's all these kids that are coming up to us, and you know, the handful of people that really know all about the history of Forbidden. We're having us sign their stuff.
Speak up, Matt. There's a mic over there.
Can't hear me?
I doubt it, dude.
No,
You're going to get edited right out of this.
It's actually just been really amazing having them all come in and just come and get their stuff signed from us and hanging out with them and talking about the old Forbidden stuff. It's been great.
Yeah, because what are you guys up? Yeah, because what are you guys up to as far as albums? I mean, how many?
Well, how many should we have out, or how many do we really have out?
Let's go for both. How many you should have?
We're up to 5.
Oh, that's easy.
We had years, yeah. I mean, we stopped in 1996, basically.
Okay.
And even then, you know, the years, we only put out 2 albums from 1991 until 1996, because the industry in general was so, you know, everything was on its ear. You know, this industry was changing. I think that we turned down a lot of little deals in order to get something okay, and it never, like, there's just no okay back then. That's why you got to give a band like Overkill a lot of credit, because they never stopped in the dark days of metal. They never gave up, and they kept like ripping through it. And I think pretty much all the rest of us, minus, you know, the guys that were already really big, had to kind of, you know, take stock.
Yeah, I think when you get to that level, people that were more at the level where they were a little bit bigger bands than we were and stuff, they could probably withstand that. We couldn't at the time. We couldn't. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I personally had hit the wall, and you know, but those 4 albums that we did originally, all, you know, are very explanatory. Is that a word? Expletive. That's not the word. That'd be like crack.
Hey, sir, can you get a diction? There's a diction.
I hit my diction. I gotta watch my diction.
Out.
No, but I mean, they explain where we were. You know, the first album was like full of energy, and just like everybody's first album was like, what are we doing? We don't know. We don't care. And then we started to really grow in the second one, and then we had years of like the 3 years of just struggling, trying to find our way back into the scene. And that album's Distortion, and it's kind of stretched out a bit, and it's a great record, but it's disjointed a little maybe. And then our last record was pure anger and like caveman for Forbidden, and some of the old fans just didn't understand it until years later. And they're like, oh, because I've heard it's about 2 to 3 years ahead of its time. When it came out, it was just, you know, and a lot of bands like Slipknot, Lamb of God, and those guys would use it as a little benchmark for an influence for them. Green was like an influence on a lot of musicians, where the fans just went right over their head. In retrospect, we didn't have retrospect at the time. We only had what we had. So that, like, looking back at the whole thing, it's also clear where we took our left-hand paths and that's why Omega Wave is so. I mean, that's why it's so kick-ass, because we had the retrospect when we were writing it to just go, okay, let's be as metal as we possibly can, and everything we missed, you know, we'll kind of hit on. But you can't go back to your first album, because that's like, I tell people, that's like, you know, Slayer doing Show No Mercy, or, you know, I mean, who's going to want, you know, do the fans really want Show No Mercy Part 2? You know,
Right.
They don't no one gives them any crap.
They would
about
want
it.
that before they'd want us to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, so that's essentially like the growth pattern. Why there's only 5 albums. This last one didn't take us all that long to really.
Priorities.
Right. It took about a little over a year. We made sure we took our time, though.
Yeah.
You know.
We got to know each other very, very well.
Yes. Mark and I spent the most time in the room together because, you know, drummer, guitar player thing, and we got to know each other pretty well. The smells, the sights, the
spent a lot of
sounds.
time on Skype together.
Yeah. Because he lives in London, so
Yeah.
Steve and I would go over everything piece by piece, you know, and he'd always come back with another idea to interlock, and it really. There's a point where every guy in the band said, "Are you sure this is going to work? Are you sure that's going to work?" I'm like, "Man, I think so. I sure hope so. It seems to be coming together." And then it did. You know,
I would call Craig up and say, "How could you guys be doing anything?" I mean, I don't understand. Well, here, go on Skype.
Yeah.
I never used it before.
Yeah, I've never used it, but what a great thing.
It's not
though.
real
I mean,
time.
So awesome technology.
it's real close. It's like a few milliseconds back. But it wasn't for that. It's because, you know, if you got the brain power and the memory to go through this stuff, and then I'd bring in things in. I'd have a digital recorder and send stuff back to him, and you know, so it was great to have a partner to write the guitar stuff with that I was really wanting. But our old guy just wasn't, you know, into it. I mean, he just wasn't. He's not here, so that's all I can say about that. We're happy, and you know, it was something that Forbidden always had in the old days too. You know. Great guitar player. You know, so my wingman's always the shredder, you know, and this guy fucking is amazing, simply amazing.
You're a wingman.
Nice.
Oh,
So
the wingman.
I'm blushing. I have to hear it every day. I have
That's
to
too touching for us.
a moment with Forbidden. No,
So,
not
you know-
Forbidden.
You're another woman crying on you.
You know, the
I
funny
didn't
thing
think
about
like that. I'm explaining it. You know, that's really.
That's true. No,
You know, the chemistry we have is as a band. Everybody is something that I don't think we even had in our oldest days. You know, I think fans remember you in a certain way, and they want to be really nostalgic and say it's like Polaroid. You know,
So,
you take a picture.
snapshot.
Yeah, here's a snapshot. This is what I loved about you guys. Well, you know, there's a lot of drama going along with a lot of that, and everybody was great guys. But you know, once you go through what we went through, man, you know, it's hard to look everyone in the eye every day and have the same kind of.
right.
You know, so yeah, this is a whole new band in a way, but essentially
And then-
myself
and then-
and Russ and Matt have been here since
Yeah,
the beginning.
and then to me, it's really not in a way too, because you know, me and Craig and Matt have been working together so long too. So I mean, you know, it's great having these guys in the band that totally click with us. But to me too, it's not just all new. It's, you know, it's kind of feels like our old feel too when we were writing the record. When we were recording my vocals and stuff too, we were getting into, you know, it kind of felt like the first 2 records, not like the latter 2. So, you know, to me it was a good experience that way.
But I got to say, the guy went next level.
Yeah.
He never sang that good on any record. You know, I mean, this is
Well,
the
I
best
mean,
he ever sang, in my opinion.
I'm not sure of that, but I think we took a little more time. I was always put under the gun on Forbidden Evil and Twisted Form. Probably recorded those. Oh God! I mean, it was one day for
Forbidden Evil's
for
one
Forbidden
day,
Evil to
yeah.
record all the vocals.
That's
So,
that's
or maybe
fast.
it might have been
Yeah.
at best 18 hours or something. So,
Yeah.
but I was a young man back then. Plus, you know, there was not a whole lot of experiment going on. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. We kind of experimented with some things. You know, took our time at doing full voice this time. So,
Well, you don't feel nearly as rushed that way either, and then
Right.
you can decide which way you like. You know, what's best for you and everything,
Right.
and for the band as a whole. So it
yeah,
makes
and then
sense.
we you know, did a little writing too as we went. You know, which we never had time to do before. So.
Yeah, because how much time was between this one and the one previous? I mean, how many?
12 years.
Oh, so oh wow. See,
Well,
this is all
slow
new,
riders.
so I mean, my husband.
We're slow
Oh,
riders.
slow riders.
Well,
We really did take our time. That's what I meant. We actually probably wrote the record in 8 months.
No, but I don't want to make you say you're wrong, but I know how long it was because I remember the first riffs were being written, because I think that was the biggest thing. It's like we were together doing this reunion thing, right? And we were out in 2008. We really, at the end of 2007, we agreed to do a reunion. It was going to be with Paul Bostaff as well playing drums, but he got the Testament gig the same time because he was our original guy, you know. So we were like, all right, we're going to do it. So then we got Gene Hoglan to sit in and blah, blah, blah. We get Mark, and then we do the European tour, and I still hadn't committed to writing a record. I was still way on the fence about it. Everybody was asking us, are you going to do it? 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 About halfway through there, I said, I'll do my part. I'll start the ball rolling. And we really didn't start riffing out and committing to being a full-on writing band again until him and I sat down with the riffs I was starting to pop off with, and then that chemistry, I was like, oh, this is going to be rad. You know, I knew it was. So really the end of 2008 until the very beginning of 2010. So, but it wasn't, we didn't work on just our record the whole time.
Right.
I recorded a couple other things. Yeah, everybody was busy.
Maybe
you know.
He started taking it a little more like, okay, now we're
If you
going to
condense it, yeah, he's probably right. He's probably right. Let me back up. He's probably right if you squish it all together.
Well, let me
but we had other things we were doing.
Let me put it to you this way. I was shocked that we actually wrote a record that quick. It wasn't written over, 12 years or the whole time we were off or anything. I can remember doing Twisted into Form, and I'm sure we wrote way longer than that on even 7 songs.
Nope.
Dense the time.
Yeah.
Twisted into Form took 3 months to write.
Nah.
Yeah, we were stuck in the studio so fast.
All right, next time you do a record, call me up and tell me when you start riffing so I fucking know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, no, because here's why.
So I
Twisted into Form, we didn't finish touring.
Next time you start a record, call me.
We didn't finish touring until the end of the summer, and then we were in the studio.
I'm always the last person to get involved with it because I do vocals.
But
so the way we do things, we don't write words and melodies first. So it usually comes by the riff.
Starts from the riff and then
move
the
it
riff
around
builds from there.
Yeah.
But a lot of times with that riff, when I'm writing a riff, I'll visualize a subject, and like for instance, the song Overthrow, I literally imagine a tank like rolling through protests in the streets, like the Chinese Revolution type stuff. I think it just visually, I just always try to think of one thing, and then we end up writing either about that or something around that, and then that's just how it's just different. I'm not sure how he likes to write his.
No, I gotta say no on that, but I think Steve was writing that.
it's interesting though because all the work these guys would be doing. When Craig and I sat down, the first one we worked out was Adapt or Die. That was the first song, and it was just like Craig came in and was like, "Okay, I'm going to embrace the metal." This is even that opening riff where Russ does the scream and he does the solo guitar. It's just like that so encompasses that scene, goes back in the history. But he would work with me, and then he'd work with him during the day, come down. We get this stuff worked out. Then Russ would come down and go, no, it's not working.
That's true.
Oh, and it was like, for me, it was a huge learning experience because I'm so used to things being done, and I'm type A, and okay, cool, it's done. Now this person conforms to it. So none of us in this experience were able to, in essence, say it's done until it's done. Even parts of the songs were kind of chopped up in the studio, too. So.
And that's the main lyric of the song. It's done. You'll find out tonight.
Well, it sounds like there was definitely a lot more going on, a lot more, input from everybody, maybe even more than ever. It kind of sounds like.
There was.
Maybe that's what I was trying to say.
There was more than ever, more open-mindedness because
more than ever.
Well, no, and the reason being is because everybody can't. If you're in a room and you're writing a metal record, this is involved and it's crazy because we're not like super prog, but we're pretty fucking involved. And if you're in a room and everyone's trying to get their ideas out, someone's gonna get butthurt, walk out of the room frustrated, walk out of there going, I didn't get my idea out, what the fuck? So it was great because the way we worked, him and I, then he'd come, then Matt would come, then we'd all, it's like it worked better because then I felt like an idea could get organized, and then finally could present it, and then it was just, it worked out. It's not that painful in the end, as compared to how hard it is to write a record when everybody's there. That's
for who?
He left out
for everyone in the band. It's hard.
Did you just say painful in the end?
He left out the contact.
Whose birthday is?
Painful in the end.